Hey, I'm Evan Coleman. I graduated from Emory University back in 2016, majored in business administration with a concentration in marketing. I currently work for a Fortune 500 CPG company focusing in brand marketing as well as digital marketing. And in my spare time, I actually recently started a project called Database. And Database is the goal of Database is actually to create an online platform to connect Division III student-athlete alumni across all professional backgrounds. And I'm just really excited to see how far I can take that. And I think junior year is where, in the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to play college basketball, but I wasn't really sure how to go about that. It was kind of always a dream, and then as you get older, it becomes a realistic goal. But again, didn't really know how to go about doing that. And secondly, I was on a very prominent high school basketball team that had I think it was 9 Division I guys my junior year. So again, there's 9 seniors on the team. A majority of them did go Division I. So I'm going into my senior year with very little film, very little just exposure and experience in live game action. But I just continued to work hard. I knew that my goal was to just give myself a chance. So whether that be, completing extra workouts in the morning, staying late after practice, getting my work done any way possible, that was really what I set out to do. And fortunately, I got a really good opportunity to start playing significant minutes in the state playoff games, starting in the Sweet 16, then going into the Elite 8, and then the Final Four, as well as the state championship. I actually started, which was kind of a storybook ending, but it was a really fun time. And through that, I was actually able to get some exposure, and subsequently some coaches, specifically on the Division III level, reached out. So I believe the first program that ever reached out specifically about basketball was actually Birmingham Southern. And I believe my assistant coach at the time had a contact there that they made their team aware of myself, thought it would be a good fit. So that was my first kind of run-in with recruitment. And then as I was in kind of the local Atlanta area, Oglethorpe heavily recruited me, which to this day I'm super thankful for that opportunity. And then shortly after is where Emory started recruiting me as well. It was always a goal to play college basketball, but again, I had the backup plan that may not be in the cards for me. So I would say up until the spring semester of my senior year, I was also focused on taking my SAT, applying to schools just as your everyday student, and just preparing for that next phase. If I couldn't get an opportunity to play basketball at the next level. But luckily, again, like I said, I was able to get recruited by some local Division schools. And in that process, that's where I actually learned more about the Division III level. So I actually went to a rivalry game my senior year, Oglethorpe versus Emory, actually. And that was just a great atmosphere to be in. Oglethorpe has a great gym over there in the Atlanta area. And every time it's Emory versus Oglethorpe, you're just going to get very, very hard work and dedication from both sides. It was a great atmosphere, and I think from that point on, I was hooked. I saw it with my own two eyes, and I said, okay, I think I can do this. I think not only can I do this, but it's something I would love to be a part of. So fast forward, shortly after my senior year, I called up Coach Zimmerman and I told him, I want to come to Emory. I would say the rest of the story after that is pretty much history. I saw a tweet that you posted, I believe it was a day or two ago, just around really how to have the conversation that you are actually going to another school. And that resonated with me 100% because I actually had to have that tough conversation with the Oglethorpe coach at the time. back when I was a senior. So, 17, 18 years old, this coach, this program, they had communicated that they wanted me to be a part of their team, their program. And it was just tough for me personally to say, I'm actually going with a different option. But nonetheless, I definitely received the direction from my dad to reach out to the Oglethorpe team and the Oglethorpe coaches specifically to thank them for the opportunity, for the experience of just merely being recruited, but then to also tell them that I'm actually going to pursue another option, and that option would be Emory. So again, in the moment, it was a very tough conversation to have, but I think that was a well-respected conversation from both sides. And I think, while you're in college, you don't have too many interactions with other coaches from other teams, but like you mentioned earlier, we played Oglethorpe, I believe, every year that I was at Emory. And in that time, short interactions, but I could always tell that that team and those coaches specifically, they not only remembered me, but I think they respected me. And I think a lot of that has to do with that conversation I had with them to eventually end my recruitment process. Obviously when you're in school on campus, you kind of find your small group of peers, your small group of friends, and you kind of just run with it. You may have similar schedules, and that rang very true for myself and my 3 teammates and roommates, all of the same class throughout the 4 years at Emory. We roomed together for 3 out of the 4 years, so and also we were all in the business school, so from sun up to sundown, we had almost identical schedules. So that naturally allowed us to spend a lot of time together, become very, very close friends. And just kind of thinking back on that, we had very similar experiences. We went to the same school. We received the same degree that we worked hard for. But even after 4 short years of being on campus, we've kind of all gone in completely different career directions, and all of them are very good in their own right, if not great. One of my old teammates and friends, he just finished up his master's at Georgia Tech. Another guy is out in San Francisco working at a startup, and my other friend and old teammate, he is up in the Northeast pursuing his medical school degree. Try your best to enjoy that journey or enjoy that process of recruitment. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Do not take it for granted. Enjoy it, and just really try and lay out the pros and cons of each institution, not just for your prospective sport or even for solely the academics. Try and think wholeheartedly about your social experience, your proximity to metropolitan areas, just everything that you could possibly think of. And then also, I think something that is popular now with the rise of podcasts and just networking, try your best to network with others that may be a couple years older than you that went through that process, 2 to 4 years before you are, and just ask them, what they liked, what they disliked. Just try your best to learn from others that went through that process, because I guarantee you that will just make your process that much stronger. Our goal is to build a community specifically for Division III student athlete alumni, and eventually definitely want to branch that out towards our current D3 student athletes. And I think, if you've gone through that D3 experience before, how tough it is. It's not as rosy as some of the other divisional experiences. I'll leave it at that. So, when you're going from a full day of classes to practice to weight room, back to the library, or even before the library, going to the cafeteria, getting dinner, and then going to the library. I think Division III athletes understand that day-to-day grind, especially once the season is in play. And I want Database to be that central connection forum for alumni as well as current student athletes to connect, to understand how they utilize those experiences playing Division III sports and how that has benefited them, in the working world. I'd say right now we're slowly ramping up, and that's the goal each and every day, just to continue to grow our community, to continue, spreading the word and creating what I believe can be one of the most powerful one of the most powerful professional communities out there. Like, I think we all know several Division III student athlete alum that have gone on to do truly tremendous things, and I don't think that that's an anomaly. I think there are so many Division III student athlete alumni across this country that are just sitting in very powerful positions, and even if they're not sitting in very powerful positions, they have something that you can learn from. They have unique experiences that they can utilize to make teams better, to make goals achievable. I know that's a long-winded answer, and there's a lot of work to be done on my side and for Database specifically, but all of this is churning in my head, and I really believe that it can be actioned upon one day, and one day soon, hopefully. My wife and I, we had our first kind of financial planning meeting, and the guy we met with, he actually played Division III basketball. The name of the school is skipping my mind right now, but as soon as he said that, it was an instant connection. It was just kind of that understanding that, for 4 years, for 3 years, for 2 years, for even 1 year, however long you played, I have some form of understanding of what you went through, how hard you worked, and what those experiences have done for you since then. My high school coach gave me some really great advice as I was exiting kind of the high school phase of my life, and he was saying that make sure whatever school you attend, it's a symbiotic relationship. And I'm pretty sure what he meant by that is make sure you get everything out of it the same way they will get everything out of you. And I think that's really important. I think a lot of the times we can fall in lust with what a school or institution offers you on paper, but we may not truly understand that it may not be the best fit for a person, and for many reasons. It could be socially, it could be academically, it could be athletically. When I look back at my experience, if I was to solely value athletics, I may have made a different choice. If I was to solely value the social aspect, I would have made a different choice. If I had to take into deep consideration the financial piece, I most likely would have made a different choice. So again, I think they're all pieces of the puzzle, major pieces of the puzzle, that you have to take into consideration and try your best to get others' perspective and experiences, because I think just connecting with others, it just makes it so much more tangible. To hear somebody else went through a similar experience definitely makes it tangible, at least for myself, and helps me think through my next steps as an individual. If you haven't already, please feel free to follow Database on Twitter as well as Instagram, and give us a look up on our website, DATA3 instead of the B. database.com, and you'll see on our About Us section, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a button where you can click and sign up in less than 5 minutes. And again, at this point in time, we're really just trying to build our network in our community, getting Division III student athlete alumni to sign up, engage on the platform, and just make it as large as possible. And again, I'll continue working at this, making the website better, making it stronger, making it more accessible for everyone. And one day I definitely envision a platform where if you need a contact in the Division III space to help you navigate your professional journey, I guarantee one day you will be able to find that exact person you need for that. Whether it be looking somebody up in a specific industry, looking up a alumni, specifically a student athlete alumni that went to your school, played in your conference, played the same sport you did. One day that will be accessible to all Division III student athlete alumni, and each and every day until then, we'll be working hard to fulfill that. So, thank you.